cauliflower isn't great. This episode was kicking the balls. Hey guys, David here with a new review for the latest episode of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And man, this was a very transformative experience for me because for the first time since the show's return after its mid-season break, well, supposed mid-season break, I think I actually liked the LMD storyline better than anything else that was going on in the background, particularly the material happening with the Inhumans. Because everything that was going on with Daisy and Jeffrey Mace and the court hearings with Nadir and all that was legitimately just a backdrop in this episode. Like, the whole Inhumans subplot, like Inhumans versus Humans debacle amongst the Senate, amongst the political aspect of things that even Talbot was mentioning, kind of took a backseat. It was more like a setup for the broader picture here, which is that the LMD storyline is getting a lot thicker than I was actually predicting it to be, because I was expecting a very predictable, by the numbers, invasion of the body snatchers type of storyline, but now it got even deeper. From the very beginning, where we learned that the brain of the original human host gets kind of converted into the LMD's CPU inside their head, so it's like it's almost like they're hacking into the Matrix. They're jumping into the Matrix and they're jumping into this robotic body. It's like there's like so much science fiction lore in this episode to chew on that's like, oh my god, this is a humongous nerd's dream to be able to pick apart how certain science in this episode works. And not only that, but they wove it into the story to make you feel this gut punch, a bunch of emotion by the episode's end. Because here, not only do we focus on LMD Agent May, we focus on Agent May, period, because with that fact in mind, that their brain gets transferred over to their LMD counterpart, it's almost like there is a second May. It's not a robotic decoy. It's an actual second May, only she happens to be a robot on the inside. But she is still having her original thoughts and memories and emotions in her head, so that just takes a whole another level to this whole LMD storyline. And so to see her not only reminisce of her past experiences with Bahrain, that traumatic mission, only this time altered slightly, which I don't know if I'm in the minority here, but did anybody else think, if you play video games, you guys remember that video game Remember Me? I literally just played that game and beat that game like 2 weeks ago because I just had some downtime. I'm trying to get through my backlog, and I knew that I had that game for free because of PlayStation Plus. I played that game and it reminded me an awful lot of that game where you get to remix people's memories so that they can remember something differently, and that could change their personality at a whim. And they did the exact same thing with May here towards the end. So she takes this journey, despite being a robot, it's like a concurrent May continuing her arc through the show. And I loved it. And then shit got even trippier when you learn that May's little escape there was all part of a simulation, and she's just doing it over and over again. It was like a combination of Doctor Strange recently, if you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about, Doctor Strange, another Marvel property, and Inception. It was like Inception all over again, like a dream within a dream, a simulation within a simulation of her being in the spa and now being in this fight with Ada all over the place. Which, by the way, at first I was gonna get a little pissed because she stabs Ada and then runs away. And she's still, like, standing. Well, she's on her knees, but she's still alive. Like, she's still working. I think May should be a little bit more responsible, and I thank God it's a simulation. Because that's how it was all programmed. That's how it was all working. So it made sense. Because otherwise I would have been pissed. Like, May would have gone to hell with her in that iron. Then we get to the end, and I just feel like S.H.I.E.L.D. is becoming the Oprah of twists. You get a twist, you get a twist, everybody gets a twist. So we already knew that Radcliffe was not necessarily the goodest guy. He was a bad guy, but people were calling him evil, and I never really thought that he was evil, because he would say from episode to episode saying, we're not killers, we're not going to kill May, we're not going to take lethal action unless we absolutely 100% need to, and he would constantly remind that to Ada. Then we get the twist at the end that Radcliffe, not the whole time, but for the past few weeks or so, has been an LMD himself. He was the second LMD that he was referring to at the beginning of this episode, and he was meeting with Nadir, hence the leak. Because at first, the leak did not make sense to me. How did Nadir know that Coulson and company were inside her office, and that's how they get caught up, and that's how S.H.I.E.L.D. is now in hot water with the government? That did not make sense to me. Now, knowing that Radcliffe is in cahoots with Nadir, that on a technical level makes sense. That ties up. Now, why is Radcliffe working with Nadir? That's not necessarily in the clear. Maybe it was mentioned in a line of dialogue that I might have to rewatch the episode, or at least the ending of the episode again, in case I missed something, but I thought it was a bit more natural that Radcliffe, his intentions were to get the Darkhold, because that seemed legitimate. He's a scientist, he wants to know the secrets of the universe, okay. But now, knowing that he planted an LMD there, and now he's working with Nadir for some ulterior motive, this doesn't feel 100% natural. But at the same time, I don't know how necessarily I feel about this. I feel like I need to digest it for at least a night. One intriguing thing came out of it, however. It looks like we're finally going to meet this superior as Nadir foreshadowed. And while we're on the subject of side notes, Mech got his mech on. And since the show's doing some Inception shit with their simulation stuff there, then I'm gonna do some Inception with my anecdotes. An anecdote within an anecdote. Mac's backstory that he mentioned, I don't know. It's ironic that he was talking about cliches with Yo-Yo, and yet he was kind of becoming a cliche himself, where the things that he was saying he could have said a little earlier and then spared Yo-Yo the drama. It's the only little blemish that I can find on this episode that didn't bring the episode down, but it's there. Like, you can clearly see it. It's like a wart on a very beautiful person's face, which is this episode. So just when I thought that the LMD storyline was wrapping up with Radcliffe being apprehended, it's still going on. The real May has been moved to an undisclosed location along with Radcliffe and Ada, so it's still continuing, but thanks to this episode, it has been fleshed out beyond the capacity for, I can't even talk because of how groundbreaking it was, the capacity for me to be able to comprehend, but it has enough science fiction threads that makes me nerd out for it. And I can't believe I'm saying this, but now I'm on board with the LMD storyline, considering the very non-traditional route it has taken. So I'm going to be giving Wake Up, which is the title of this episode, which definitely made me do so to the LMD storyline, I gotta be honest, okay, I'm going to do it, a low 9 out of 10. Definitely the highlight of this brand new arc that we're in the middle of. So please let me know in the comments what you guys thought of this week's episode of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Do you think that the LMD storyline is going to get better? Who do you think this superior is? Do you think Nadir is going to be punched in the face by May, who apparently worked with her on the show ER, the two actresses? So that'll be one hell of a reunion. Please post your feedback below, like and share this video, and of course subscribe for future reviews as well as plenty more Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. videos coming very soon. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Take care.